It's almost too easy with Ashley. I need Ashley to understand Kirsten does not like her. Kirsten don't like you, sis. That man does not like you. He don't. You got to accept this and move on. Keep looking towards the future. Let's talk about the episode though, y'all. So I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk Ready to Love, Make a Move, Season 1, Episode 6, Big Easy Birthday. If you're brand new to the channel, I break down TV shows one recap at a time, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and then hop into the comment section down below. Before we get started, though, I have partnered with Rose Forever New York, which is an amazing brand that has realistic flowers that last for well over a year. Y'all see that? All right, so they sent me this really cute bouquet, 9 red roses, in this like really cool clear case. It even has a drawer at the bottom if you want to put like pearls or like some stones or something like that at the bottom. I'm actually going to give this to my mom and put some potpourri in the bottom. So this is really, 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 really cute. They're having an amazing Black Friday sale. So if you head over to their website, you can put in my coupon code, which is TammyTalks40, save $40 off. They come in a variety of colors and different configurations and different settings that you can get. This is one that I got from them last year. Look how cute that is. And this comes with the drawer as well. And I've had this for well over a year. I keep the top on so you don't have to do anything to it at all. But make sure you guys go and check that out. More details will be down in the description box. All right. So let's get started. So we pick up where Ashley left off, telling Tamika that Stormy went on her date with Kirsten without her. Basically. So Ashley feels that she didn't even get to talk much on her date, and that was like really her issue. So she's saying that Stormy came in real, dressed real big and fine, letting him know that she was single and the attention needed to stay on her, as in Ashley. So Tamika's like, look, I don't want to call you insecure, but do you think that there is a level of insecurity that is happening that is causing you to kind of miss, or that's causing you to kind of like think that everything has to be on you, or think that your date's eyes are wandering, whatever the case? Now, while I do agree that's true, Kirsten and Stormy were doing the most on their date though. Right? I also think that Ashley misses just basic cues, i.e., Kirsten just doesn't like her. And she's not getting that for some reason. So she wants Ashley to learn to know her worth. Ashley said that she does overanalyze everything, but she does acknowledge that she does have some insecurities. So we're at the cocktail party. Ashley tells Kirsten that she felt conflicted with Stormy being there on the date, and Kirsten is like, "Oh, you thought Stormy was hitting on me? Yeah, y'all were flirting, and you know that. You know that though. It's not a secret. It's not a did you think, y'all absolutely were." So she actually tells him she needs to do better at speaking to him about what she wants, and it's like, Ashley, you need. What's the point, right? We then get over to Vanisha. So Vanisha is conflicted between Jabari or Tabari. So she knows that with Jabari, it'd be a more structured lifestyle, which is really not what she's used to or seemingly wants, right? I feel like entrepreneurs aren't looking for a structured lifestyle. They have the lifestyle that they want. They can create their day on a day-to-day basis. And kind of like that's what they're looking for. So for her having this lifestyle where, she might work in the morning, she might work at night, she doesn't have set hours, things change for her day to day. That is just not the best to go up with Jabari that seems like he has a very, very structured to the T lifestyle. Whereas Tabari is an entrepreneur, more of a hustler like her. So they're going to understand each other's life a little more. So she gets really emotional and she starts crying when she lets Jabari know that she's moving in a different direction. Jabari plays it cool in front of her, but one thing I've noticed about these men is whenever they are dismissed, they get real smug, they get real cocky. It's like they almost get kind of sassy, right? So Jabari tells the camera that, oh, she just didn't know what was in front of her and like whatever. And it's like, no, 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 no. Y'all lifestyles don't mesh. You don't seem willing to compromise on what she needs. That's all it is. There's no, she don't know what she got in front of her. I just don't like that. That's lame to me. So we then get over to Zadia. So Zadia is talking to Cameron, and she kind of expresses to him that she's worried about him being able to make time for her since he's always so busy. Again, this is an example of Zadia, who is an entrepreneur, owns her own business and stuff like that, working with Cameron, that is an entrepreneur in the fact that he's a photographer, but he also is like a pharmacist, right? Is it a pharmacist? Yeah, so to some degree, he has a very rigid schedule as well. So she does keep him around, and at this point in the episode, I'm gonna make that very clear. This point in the episode, she's likable. This particular point, Zadia is seeming more likable this season. So we then get Ashley. So Ashley's telling Kirsten her concerns about if he's ready to be exclusive with her. He was like, exclusive, exclusive? And she's like, exclusive with her for now, I guess. It was a weird conversation on exclusivity, and I feel like they both are looking at different things when it comes to that, but okay. She decides to keep him around. That man don't want her. That man don't like her. That man wants to be on TV and see if he could maybe be around the other ladies because he might like one of the other ladies a little bit more. Kirsten is not interested in Ashley whatsoever. Whatsoever. He shows that because he don't even show up at the end of the episode. So we have Sharice. Sharice decides to move away from Keith. She doesn't think they are compatible, which is true. She's very well traveled. She likes to do extravagant things. He doesn't. He's more of a minimalist, just a very simple man, which is perfectly fine. So Tamika lets them know that she's going to be throwing Zadia a birthday party on, like she said, this like very sexy rooftop. Wasn't giving that, but okay, and that the keepers are invited and they can invite their blind dates as well. So just know y'all can invite whoever you want to. Blind dates for this week. Zadia is out with Darius, who is 31 years old and a photographer. And Zadia turned into the Zadia that we knew from DC. She was so rude to this man. So he's a photographer that also works in medicine, I think she said, in some capacity. And she, well, for one, she was rude when he walked in and she kind of looked him up and down and was kind of like, oh. So she was rude then. Then when he's talking about what he does for work, she's rude again. And then in the confessional was like, oh, I already have a photographer in the medical field. I don't need a dupe. You're gonna wish you wanted that dude when we see when we finally get to the scene that we saw in the preview where Cameron is keeping his options open on you too. So you're gonna wish you had that dude then. Darius was a very nice man. Darius was not rude to you. You were overly rude to him. He then said that he's looking for a peaceful and respectful woman. And she's like, what's respectful? He's like, not being rude to the waitress and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I can do that. And it's like, Zadia, it's just, you give a heifer a inch and she just embarrasses you, right? So she says that she doesn't want to be rude to Tamika's dates, but she's just not into this. And it's like, okay. So then she tells the guy, he's like, anything you want to know about me? She's like, no, I'm going to put a pin in this. I was like, you hateful bitch. That was so, like, she was so rude. She was so unbelievably rude. Oh my God. That was painful to watch. I feel bad for him because he didn't deserve that. You cannot want to pursue anything with him after this and not be rude at the same time. Sharice is out with Danzy, who is 44 years old, and he is into pharmaceutical sales. He tells her, I sell drugs for a living. And I feel like whenever people work in like pharmaceutical sales, they like to say that, and it's never funny. It's just never funny. I don't know why y'all joke about it. It's just, it never lands, I think, the way that they think it is going to. So she tells him right away she liked to travel, and he's like, what is your what is your like top destination you want to go? She says Greece, and he's like, okay, I want to go to Mykonos and Crete. Those are on my list. So because he was able to throw out two places, she likes that. So I couldn't pay attention to anything in this scene because the way that man's glasses was fogging up, that man's face was hot. I wear glasses, right? So been there, done that, got a t-shirt, don't want to do it ever again. There is nothing worse than being so hot, than being so unbelievably hot that your glasses are fogging up. I couldn't pay attention to anything else in this scene. But he said he has his dream job, he has his dream house, and he is looking for someone special that he can spend his life with. So we then get to Ashley. So she said that she's been in nonstop contact with Don. I'm telling y'all, Ashley deleted them text messages. Ashley deleted them text messages. She got those text messages from Don. Ashley is playing the game where she wanted Don to kind of chase after her. And then when it kind of seemed like he wasn't going to go chasing after her, she tried to flip it on him. I think she expected Don to come in and be like, I've been texting you, girl, why you ain't, and that didn't happen. Ashley deleted those text messages. She did. So she's out with Kenneth, who is a 35-year-old high school principal. She was like, wow, she's a jade of all trades. I don't like the phrase jack of all trades because it's jack of all trades, master of none. Personally, that's the full phrase that people don't like to finish. But hey, so she's like, your job sounds more intense than mine. You work with a lot of different personalities, so you should be cool with me. And it's like, girl, I'm telling y'all, Ashley just don't know what to say on these dates. So they're talking about kids. He doesn't have any. He does. He does wants to have, I swear, look at me. I can't talk either. He does want to have one or two kids, but he's also okay if he doesn't have any. She wants to enjoy the rest of her 30s before she has kids. I have never heard anybody say that. I have never heard somebody say, I want to enjoy the rest of my 30s before having settling down and having kids. But okay. So he hasn't had a serious relationship in the past 10 years. He said he's been dating and having situationships. Um, and then she kind of feels like she just does not have the time to unpack 10 years of baggage. And I said the audacity of it all. The audacity of it all. Ashley may not have 10 years, but Ashley clearly has huge baggage that she needs to work out herself before she gets involved with anybody else. The nerve. That was wild. I like when I tell y'all I cannot believe that Ashley said that. That threw me. That really, really, really threw me. Really threw me. So we then pan over to Vernisha. She's out with Kentrell, a 39-year-old social worker that seemed extremely nervous. He seems like a really nice guy, but he seems nervous. Could be the cameras that are there. Not everybody's comfortable, in front of the camera, but you can tell that he's like nervous. So he asked her, what are the green flags that you are looking for in a man? And she's like, you mean red? And he was like, no, that's so passe. Everybody can point out the negative. Let's talk about the positives. What are the positive things you are looking for in a dude? And that's actually like a really, really, really good question to ask if we're being real about it. So they go through the green flags. He then says that he's not married because he has seen marriage done on a high level. He has high expectations. His parents have been married for almost 40 years, so he's looking for that type of love. And see, I get that. My parents have been married 45 years. And Wait, is it 45? They got married in 74, 23. They've been 78. Yes, my parents have been married 45 years. And when you have seen that type of example, it does set a precedent for you. You know what I mean? Granted, that doesn't mean that I'm not saying their marriage is 125% perfect, but you have, it sets a standard for you. So Vernisha feels the same way. She said her mom and her stepdad have been married for over 30 years as well. So that's what she's looking forward to as well. Zadia is talking to Ashley, and this part had me so thrown that I put out my calculator. Because when I did it in my head, I said, am I wrong? So Ashley said, what are we telling people how old you are? 25. Zadia says she's 18 plus 10 times 2, and that's what she's telling people. I said, I paused the TV. I said 18 plus 10 is 28 times 2 is 56. 28 times 2 is 56. Zadia, you are not 56 years old. When I tell you I rewound it a couple times, I put the closed caption on. She said that she tells people, or she will say, that she is 18 plus 10 times 2. Did she mean plus 2? Because 18 plus 10 is Zadia 30? I don't think she's 30 though. Nonetheless, this was a mess. That was a complete and utter mess because your math and the fact that they left that in, the fact that Ashley didn't, fact check her is okay. So she's asking Ashley who she's going to invite to her birthday party, and Ashley is inviting Donald and Kirsten. The same Donald that you felt wasn't serious about you, the same Donald that you split your wig about because you're saying he didn't text you twice, that Donald. That's the Donald that you were inviting to this party. Ashley deleted them text messages. I don't care what nobody says. So we then get to the party, okay? That no shade, but that rooftop party was not given what Tamika said it was going to give, but okay. So Sharice and Vanisha both invite their keepers and their blind dates. Vanisha feels that Cantrell just isn't confident and secure enough for her. And like I said too, it could be nerves from like it's a blind date, it's a bunch of people you don't know around too. Like it can be an uncomfortable setting for anyone. But Tabari is bringing her food, and Tabari just has a more like statuesque like presence about himself. So Cameron isn't there yet. So Zadia feels away. She said he had to work late. So she's kind of like, I'm tired of hearing about the fact that he has to work. She's telling Tamika that him constantly saying, I'm making time for you, comes across a way. And ordinarily, I would be like, Zadia, okay, girl, but I can see that because it's kind of letting you know, like, I'm making time for you. I'm going out of my way to do you a favor to grace you with my presence. I see what she's saying, but at the same time, you are dating a man that is not an entrepreneur. And I think that, not a full one, and I think that that is just something that Vernisha and Zadia are going to have to like compromise a bit on. Just because you're a boss and you can pick up and choose when you want to work and when you don't, everybody doesn't have that. And then Kirsten and Don aren't there yet, and Ashley is feeling away. But then Ashley tells us that she invited Don at the last minute. So you're giving somebody a last minute invite. Are you expecting him to just like, oh, maybe I just am more understanding about people's time. But if somebody says that they have to work to a certain time, then they have to work until a certain time. If somebody says that, I know I'm telling you last minute, or I know you told me last minute, so I'll see what I can do. I understand that. But the way that they are flipping out about this is weird to me. Is it me? Is it me, y'all? Because if it's me, please let me know. So Don shows up, and Ashley is now wondering if she made the wrong decision by keeping Kirsten instead of him. You did. You did, but you know that. But you were in your feelings for whatever reason about Donald that episode. But you know that you made the wrong decision. So Danzy is loose from that open bar, y'all. Every time we see him, he's sweating, and it's not just from the NOLA weather. He's over at that bar. He is he's over at that bar. He is pouring himself a drink. He's talking all loud, looking like somebody's drunk uncle. He's telling Sharice, "You come across as relatively humble," and it's like, oh, not relatively. He then has his arm around her, and she said, "Did I tell you you could touch me like that?" He just got his arm around you, sis. He literally just has his arm around you. Unless he was like rubbing comfort circles or like touching her back or something like that. But and then she was like, "Well, it's hot." And I think Sharice knew that she kind of like, a little too much. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then we see Zadia standing there by herself eating while everyone else is there with their date. So I'm assuming Cameron comes just kind of late and they just wanted to have a nice cliffhanger for the episode, but finally it's not a cliffhanger with Ashley. So that is a plus. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Who do you think the ladies are going to keep going into next week? If you haven't already, don't forget subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.